DreAllDay.com.
100 mental game best practices. The best mental game tips you need for life. DreAllDay.com. Dre Baldwin with DreAllDay.com. Topic of this video, you see the title. Stop whining, bitch. I came up with this topic. I didn't come up with this topic. This topic came to me because I get, if you can't tell, I do read, as I said in the previous video, I read all the comments in videos. Like on YouTube, I will read all my comments. I read all my DMs and snaps and stuff like that. I read them all. I don't reply to them all, but I do read them all, just so I could hear what people are saying, what people are talking about. Somebody would at least take the time to write something to me, even emails. I'll at least read it. Now, it might be something dumb and useless, and I might have to block them or delete them, but I will at least read it and see what's going on. But I often, when people reach out to me, often is complaining. Especially when I'm talking to, actually, and I'm not going to even say especially, almost exclusively, I'm hearing it from athletes. Athletes, and those of y'all don't know, I played pro ball for 9 years, and this channel used to just be all basketball videos. So a lot of basketball players reach out to me, telling me about their situation because they're trying to get better and come up. And just a little bit of my basketball background. I didn't start playing until I was 14, didn't make my high school team until I was a senior, walked on in college, and then I became a professional athlete. It's not a usual story. Most people with my background don't become pros. So a lot of athletes kind of saw hope in my story and they figured, hey, maybe I got a chance. So they reach out to me with their challenges. So athletes come to me and a lot of times they're just complaining about the coach, complaining that they're not getting scouted, complaining that some players are trash talking them, complaining that they're practicing a lot but not getting better, complaining that they don't know if they'll be able to make it, complaining that they're doubting themselves. Just a whole lot of whining and bitching going on. So I'm making this video to address these players and address anybody. You don't have to be an athlete to be whining and bitching. Those of y'all who are not athletes, y'all come across people who whine and bitch all the time, don't you? And they don't have to play sports. So whining and bitching is not a sports thing, it's a human thing. So this video is to address those people, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm telling you to stop whining and stop being a biatch. Number one, everything that happens in your life, everything that occurs, everything that exists and happens because of you. It does not happen to you, it happens because of you. Now you might be thinking to yourself right now, wait a minute, Dre, how is it that, you know, my mom not wanting me to be on a basketball team is happening because of me? What did I do to cause that? How is it, Dre, that the coach not letting me play point guard when I'm the best ball handler on the team, he wants me to play center instead? How is that because of me? What did I do wrong to cause that situation? That's just the wrong way to look at it. Let me tell you what I mean when I say this statement and how you need to adopt this mindset that everything happens because of you and not to you. It means that everything that exists in your environment, everything in your existence, you are taking ownership of. See, if I say everything that happens around here is because of me, that means I have ownership of it. And when I have ownership of something, you know what that gives me? That gives me power and control. Power and control are my ability to influence a situation. See, if I say that everything, if it starts raining right now while I'm making this video, and I say it happened because of me, of course I didn't control the sky. I didn't make the clouds fill up with moisture and start raining on my head. Of course I didn't make it happen. But if I take ownership of it, I can say, you know what? I should have looked at the forecast before I came out here so my camera wouldn't get wet and I wouldn't get soaked and my wife beater wouldn't get messed up and I got to go put on another one. If I had looked at the forecast, and I could have had ownership over the situation, some power and control, some influence. Instead of getting myself wet, I could have stayed dry and stayed inside. That's a raw example, but you understand what I'm saying. If I can say, or if I'm on a team and the coach wants me to play center, but I want to play point guard, and I didn't do anything to cause him to think that, how can I take ownership of that situation? You may be wondering. What you can say then, how you take ownership is this. I should have looked into what this team had, the roster that they had, the personnel, and wondered to myself before I joined the team, how can I have a conversation with the coach and find out how I can put myself in position to play point guard instead of playing center, instead of just joining the team and hoping that it worked out in my favor? How could I have looked at some other teams and maybe joined a different team instead? How can I take advantage of this situation and play center instead of playing point guard, which is what the coach asked me, and still make the most of it and still make myself look like a great player even though I'm playing a position that I don't want to really be playing? These are ways that you can take ownership. Again, this doesn't necessarily mean that you can change it and make it perfect exactly as you want it. But when you take ownership of a situation, when you say this is my fault, I'm responsible, now you have some influence over it. When you're responsible for something, you have influence. When you're not responsible for something, when you have no power, when you're not owning it, then it's based on whatever happens outside of you. Whatever he decides, whatever she says, whatever they want to do. Now you're like a leaf blowing in the wind. Whichever way the wind blows, that's the way you go. You have no power, no control. You're just a pawn. All right, you're a peon in life. Do you want to be a pawn or a peon in life, or you want to be a person in control? You want to be a person in control, take ownership of every situation, regardless of how messed up it is, regardless if it was your fault or not, regardless of how unfair you think it is. When you take ownership, you have control and you can do something about it. Point number 2. Always ask, whenever you're in a situation that is not working the way that you want, ask the question, what can I do about this? Don't ask the question, how is this so terrible? Why is this so bad? Who is to blame? Why should I feel bad for myself? Who should I go complain to? Maybe I should get on YouTube and leave a comment sounding like a little bitch so I can bitch about my problems to the internet as if that's going to change anything. That's what most people do. If you want to be a person of power, a person of influence, a person who has control, a person who takes ownership, the question you need to start asking yourself is, what can I do about this situation? All right, I'm playing center. I'm playing center because the coach wants me to. He don't want me to play point guard. What can I do about this situation? All right, my mom don't want me to be on the basketball team. What can I do about this? I'm not being scouted and it's my senior year and I want to get a scholarship. What can I do about the situation? Does this mean all of a sudden a pot of gold is going to drop out of the sky and all your problems will be resolved? No, it doesn't mean that. But if you ask the question, you are at least employing your mind to start thinking of ideas. If you never ask the question, you never put your mind to work to think of ideas. And you know the saying, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Our minds get wasted when we don't give them jobs to do. You don't give your mind a job to do, such as asking it good questions, then you're going to end up asking dumb questions, bitch-ass questions, bitchy questions, whining questions, and then you end up doing nothing with it. You're giving your mind a job. Your job is to come up with excuses and reasons to complain and bitch, which produces what result? Nothing, right? So if you want to produce results, understand that all of life is a results-based business. If you don't believe me, ask your mom or your dad or anybody you know who works and makes money. They get paid because they produce results. They stop producing results, they won't make any money. That's what I mean by I say results-based business. Give your mind some results to produce. What can I do is a result. What can I do? What actions can I take to better this situation? That's the question you need to start asking yourself instead of asking, why is this so bad? Who can I complain and whine and moan to as if they're going to do something? Don't complain and whine to me. I don't want to hear this shit. Number 3, never ever in life, never complain about a situation unless you are using your complaints to energize yourself to go do something. This is a really important one because thinking back through the comments, the millions, literally millions of comments I've read and replied to over the years. A lot of times people come in a comment or they send me an email or a DM and they're just bitching about their situation. They don't propose a solution. They don't ask for any way that I could possibly help them. They don't do anything. All they do is complain. Hey, this situation is so bad. This coach did this. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm at the end of my rope. I feel like I'm about to quit. I feel like I'm terrible. I feel like this whole thing has been a waste of time. All they're doing is complaining. They're not actually proposing a solution. They're not taking any action. They're not doing anything. All they're doing is basically using me as like a psychiatrist. You know, you ever see the movies like people go to the shrink and they're just laying on the couch bitching about their lives? Listen, I'm not that person. Okay, that's why I'm making this video right here. If I was a psychologist and I did this, I probably wouldn't have any clients. People get mad at me for cussing them out. So what I'm telling you here is, don't use complaint just to complain and to wallow in your sorrow like a little bitch. Use the complaint to motivate yourself, to energize yourself, to activate yourself, to go do something and make something happen with your life. If you're not doing that, you're being a bitch, you're whining, and you're wasting your time. And you waste your time, you waste your life, you waste your life. What you here for? You taking up oxygen. Just kill yourself. Work on your game. Dre all day. Don't kill yourself. Just watch more of my videos and I'll get you right. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.